Okay, so here we are. We're the second week in for our happy hips. And also working as well with that water element. So that is to do with our hips. So seeing if we actually feel any different to how we did at the beginning. So what I mean by that is the psychological changes that can happen when we start to work our hips more. So some of you may be able to start to feel the effects, and for some of you it may take a little bit longer. Okay, so let's get on. And for this session, you're going to be needing a chair, or you can maybe use like a worktop or the edge of a sofa if you want to use something like that. And you're going to need 2 blocks, a minimum of 2 blocks, and you need your belt as well. If you don't have kind of any more than 2 blocks, then just use something that you can work to lift up a little bit. So books or one of those little stools or something like that. Okay, so let's get started. So if you want to just bring yourself just to sitting, just to begin with, just so we can feel as if we have actually arrived in our practice. And just have a little bit of a wriggle out so you feel a little bit more comfortable. And just so you start with a nice straight spine. That's it. Just take a few breaths here. So just closing your eyes. Just allow the attention just to fall on the breathing. And just coming into a space where we feel that we've calmed down just even with our breathing, and we feel as if we've arrived, as I say, into our practice. So then we can spend the time just solely working on yourself. So recognize how you feel today. If you've come to your practice with any aches or pains, just be respectful of those. Remember, we're not pushing, we're not forcing. We're just going to take it with a nice bit of ease, take it for what it is. So just, breathe through it. Okay. So once you have the attention of your breathing, just bringing your palms together. So lifting the breastbone up towards the thumbs. Thumbs just pressing in towards the breastbone. So right and the left side coming together and feeling that balance, both sides of the body coming together. Okay, so just beginning just by setting your intention for your practice. So what's brought you to your mat? What is it that you're looking for? So just setting a clear intention. And then once you have your intention, just bring the thumbs up to the space between the eyes, just tuning in to the Ajna chakra and your intuitive center, and using that throughout your practice. Take your hands up over the crown, so your intention is then out there. And then drawing the hands back down towards your heart center and releasing the hands down to the legs. Okay. So we're going to start off with a few breaths in a lying down position. Take your blocks. So your blocks are going to go underneath your back. So if you think of putting them high enough where as if you're wearing a backpack, so missing out the small of the back. So as you lay back over them now, before I even take my head back, really secure your legs, get your legs in position. So push out through the heels, make the legs strong and as straight as you can. So pulling up on the thigh muscles, pushing down with the thigh bone, heel pushing away, toes as if they're pulling back up towards the head. Feel that tailbone tucking under, zipping up through the front of the body, long either side of your rib cage and of the waist. So zipping in, pulling up, and then let the shoulders just roll back and allowing the head to come down to the floor. Now, if the head doesn't come down, you might need to just prop something under it just to bring the head up a little bit. So you want to be feeling this more in the chest. To open up in the chest area. Also gives a little stretch out as well, just through the small of the back. So just a little bit of a stretch there. And we're stretching out through the backs of the legs. But you want to feel it more in the chest than you do in your throat. So if you're feeling it in the throat, again, then just prop your head up. So palms, inner arms and palms facing up, just to begin with. Taking a few breaths there. And then taking the arms, just stretch them up towards the ceiling. And exhale as you take the arms back over the head. So feel as if the hands are pushing to the wall behind you. So pushing away, so again, we feel the length through the front, back and sides of the body. Keep that tailbone really strongly tucking under, so we feel the lift through the front of the body. Take a couple of breaths there. Now, if the hands easily come down to the floor, then you want to have the thumbs pushing into the floor as if you're trying to push up away from the floor. Think more of your fingers stretching back. And then we can point the toes, so you'll feel a slightly different stretch and feeling that more then through the front of the body. If that makes the belly tip towards the legs, you want to, again, feel that scooping under of the tailbone, so we stay and remain long through the back of the body. Also, you'll feel a nice stretch still through the front. Okay, after your next exhalation, just bringing the arms back down by your sides. And then legs in a crooked knee position. You can place the hands down and just push yourself up to sitting. So holding onto the legs, just take a little cat stretch there. Remembering to keep as much lifted as you can during your cat stretch. So we're not just pushing back down on all that length that we've just been able to find along our spine. Okay, take your blocks away and that second position. So we're just bringing ourselves right down. Blocks go wide this time for underneath your bum. And holding onto the edges of the block. Again, miss out the small of your back. So I'm sure most of you know this setup by now. So holding onto the edges of the block there. Keep that zipping up through the front of the body. Start to stretch the legs away. Again, remember, if we start to do that and tip forward, you want to really scoop in, pull back, and then stretching the legs. Push out through the heels. You can have the toes, big toes as if they're turning in slightly in towards each other. Keep that integrity of the legs. So pulling up on the thigh muscle, push down on the thigh bone. So we stay nice and long. Now, arms, you want to push the back of the head down, tuck those arms under so the chest still gets the lift. And then we're holding here. So a few breaths here. Now you can just tune into that Ujjayi breathing. So giving you much more focus in your practice and also creating that internal heat. Okay, so after your next exhalation, pointing the toes, still keep long through the front of the body. Take the arms back over the head. So again, with the thumbs down towards the floor, feel as if they're pushing away from the floor. So fingers are stretching back as much as you can. Again, keep that tailbone tucked in right under, so you're feeling the length through the front, back and sides of the body. So a couple of breaths. And then arms down by your sides. Okay, push away through the heels. Bend in your legs, so bringing them into a crook knee position. Pressing down, lifting your hips up. So then we can just slide the blocks just out of the way for now. And from there, just that little lift, just edging up that little bit more. So we feel, again, the opening up through the front of the body. Keep that tailbone scooped right under. And then slowly start to come back down. Okay, so once we've come right back down, just get the legs just to gently rock over from side to side. You can start to take the legs a little bit wider. So we start to get the legs just to fall a little bit more. So without any forcing, without any pushing, we're not wanting to feel that we have to get the legs down to the floor. So you want to make that so the legs are moving easily to be able to get there. Okay, so once I've gone over a few times just to each side, we come back to the center, drawing the legs in, take a little rock, and then bringing yourselves up to sitting. So we're going to turn ourselves over, and we're over onto our hands and knees. So make sure that you have your setup with your knees underneath the hips and your wrists underneath your shoulders. So we're going to tuck the toes right under and take the bottom back towards the heels. So keeping the head down and keeping the chest heading back towards the legs. So making sure that you're rolling out with the tops of the arms. We're going to lift up into Ardha Mukha Svanasana. So just slowly start just to push up through the legs. You can on this first one, just pedal out a little bit so we feel that we're opening up just through the toes and through the ankles, through the knees. So we start to feel as if we're getting a little bit more of a stretch out. If you've not really done any stretching today, if you've been sat in a chair or something like that, then the legs are going to feel a bit tight around the backs of the legs. So it might need just a little bit of easing out, a little bit of ironing out. Okay, so once we come to there, and keep the chest heading back, come right up onto your toes, and then edge those heels back. So holding here, a couple of breaths, keep the belly drawing back, keep that integrity with the shoulders, keep along here, the serratus anterior muscle just hugging in. So you feel as if it's corseting round across on just underneath your boobs, really, kind of pulling it in onto there. Keep the strength of the hips edging back. Nice long stretch to the backs of the legs. Okay, so from here, take your right leg, lifting that leg up. Keep the strength through the back of the body. Look forward to the top edge of your mat. You're going to bring that leg through. So we're squeezing it in right up between the hands. Okay, from here, keep the strength in the back leg. So you might want to just push the back leg back a little bit more. So you're right up with the heel up high. Keep the front leg so the knees directly on top of the ankle bone. Hands are down, lengthen forward as much as you can. So you're feeling the stretch out through the front of this back leg. Take a little rock forwards and back, just so we start to feel it a little bit more just into the hip flexor right at the top of the leg there. And we can also, as we come forward, feel as if the chest is moving forward. So get the shoulder blades to feel it as if they're pulling back and down. Okay, so I think that's probably about enough. And then hands go down. So we're going to take that leg back, again, back into Ardha Mukha Svanasana again. So pulling right back, easing back as much as we can. And then with the left leg. So lift that leg up high. Remember to keep that strength. We're not just dipping out in the small of the back. Look forward, pull that leg in. Foot comes forward. Again, strength in your back leg. Really feel that we're firing up back of the thigh. Okay, so from here, pushing forwards and back, just easing a little way into it. So I think as we're coming forward, the chest is moving forward, the collarbones are lifting, shoulders and shoulder blades are pulling back and down towards your waist. So you start to iron out a little bit more as well on the back of that leg. Okay, and then we should be done. So hands go flat, take the leg back. We're back again into Ardha Mukha Svanasana. From here, you can look forward to the top edge of your mat, bend and straighten your legs. As you're doing that, as you're straightening the legs, you want to feel as if the force of the body is coming forward, but scoot back through your belly, and then either jump or walk the feet forward. Okay, once we're there, hang down, take hold just of opposite elbows, keeping the legs straight if we can. If you need to, just bend them a little bit. And then just easing out top part of the body, just with a little sway over from side to side. So aim to keep the legs and the bottom still. So we just want to feel as if the torso is getting more of a stretch as we go over from side to side. And then back to the center. Place your hands into your hips creases. And then we're nice and strong in the legs. Really feel the pulling up. Inhale, lift the head. Lift the chest, strong legs as we come up. Roll your shoulders back and stretch them down. So we're looking and we should be in Tadasana. So shoulders roll back and down, legs nice and strong. Taking a few breaths. Okay. So for the next one, this is where we need our chair. So, or you can use, you can have your foot against the wall or even on the worktop a little bit. Make sure you're not going to be slipping on the floor. So, Uttita Hasta Padangustasana. So we're going to be taking our right leg first of all straight out in front of us. So you want to lift that leg, make sure that the heel is pressing down and pressing. If you have got the wall there, then use it so you can then work to push the foot into it to draw the toes back. It's going to give you much more of a stretch along that back leg. So we're just going to place the hands onto the hips. Now, as I'm doing that, I want to feel that my foot is firmly making that connection with the floor. So spreading out with my toes, pulling up on the thigh muscles, pushing back with the thigh bone. So again, on this raised leg, it's exactly the same. Pulling up, thigh bone pushing down. I want to really feel as if it's pulling back into this hip. So I want to press my hands down, lift the chest up a little bit more, and then bringing my hands up. Nice big stretch up. Okay, bringing the hands down. So we've now 3 breaths there. Bring your leg away and then ready for the other side. So standing again, nice and tall. Getting ready, and then you're going to be lifting that left leg straight up, and we're taking our 3 breaths once we're there. So foot lifting, again, get your set up right. So we're pulling, we're lifting, we're drawing up. From here, inhale, taking the arms up. Inhale, exhale, 1. Inhale, exhale, 2. Inhale, exhale, 3. Hands come down and the leg lifts down. Okay, so this time we're going to go back onto the right leg. We take our 3 breaths, but when we're taking our 3 breaths, this is where we're going to be stretching forward a little bit more. So again, bring your right leg up, lifting, standing tall. So we can inhale, taking the arms up. And exhale, come forward. So either hands to the wall or onto your worktop, wherever. So sometimes it feels nice if the wall is there so you can push in, lift, open up a little bit more through the chest, and then come forward. So holding here, 3 breaths. 1. 2. 3. Okay, we inhale, lift up out of it, bring your hands down, and then bringing that leg down. Okay, so make sure that you can stand and that your legs feel okay before we do the other side. Right, so if you need a minute, take it. Don't just rush straight into it. So if you are ready to go, standing firm on the right leg, bring your left leg up, place it up onto your support. Again, standing tall. Make sure the foot is firmly planted, pulling up. Get those legs nice and strong. Inhale, taking the arms up. Strong arms lifting right up. And then exhale as you come forward. Okay, so remember, work it to where you feels right for you. If you're bending the leg, you need to pull it back. Maybe stay with the lifted. So if you are at the wall or on your support, you inhale, lift the chest, exhale, bring it forward that little bit more. So I'm using the wall or the door just to push away from. And as I push away from it, then I can extend my chest even more. 1, 2, 3. Inhale as I come back up. And exhale, bringing the arms down. Bring the leg back down. So again, you might just want to stand, just get a little bit of a roll out with the shoulders, standing nice and tall in Tadasana. Okay, so let's take the leg out to the side now. So it's going to be the right leg which is lifting first. So you'll see the back side of me first. So standing sideways on. So from here, lifting the leg up, take it out, place it onto your support, rolling that hip down, squeezing that buttock in, strong on that standing leg. This side is in as much as I can. Okay, I can use the hand, push it onto the leg to open up so my chest is staying facing forward. From here then, I can take my arms straight up, stretching up, and I can bring my hands together, turn my hands over and stretch up even more. So you want to feel as if you're lifting up away from that leg which is on the support. So lifting up, lifting up, lifting up. Okay, so 3 breaths. Sorry, I did forget to mention that. 3 breaths. Bring your arms down. So keep the lift the whole time. Bring the leg down. Okay, we stand back in Tadasana. Take a breath. And then turn yourselves around, ready for the left leg to be lifted. So again, make sure that you feel as if the standing leg is going to support you. And then when you're ready, so lift the leg up, take it out to the side. Push the leg into your support, standing nice and strong, pulling up. So remember, on that left bum cheek wants to tuck in. So it's going to tuck the tailbone under, and we feel the lift coming through the front of the body. So we're keeping that lift, taking the arms straight up. From there, bringing the hands together, turning the hands over. Keep the lift, stretch up, stretch up, stretch up. Keep that thigh of the raised leg pushing down. Keeping the lift, keeping the lift, keeping it up. There's 1 more breath to make it 3. And then turn the hands back over and bringing your hands down. Okay, bring that leg back down. Whoa, wobbly. Okay, roll the shoulders back. I think I was a bit just over keen on that. Okay, so roll the shoulders back. Take a breath. Okay, so for this one, we're going to be using the chair again to lift the leg on. So kind of like as if we're going to be doing Vrikshasana, tree pose, but just using the chair. So I'm going to move it round just over to this side, pushing that up, and we're going to be using the wall as well. So while I'm here, then I'm going to be pulling back towards the wall. I'm going to be lifting up with my right leg, turning that leg out. So I've just got the tip of the toes just onto the chair, and I'm going to hold onto the leg. Now my left hand is going to pull back, so it's going to keep my hips level. Right hand is just edging back. Don't worry if you're not right at the wall. There is a big gap as well behind mine. That's fine. So there's a little bit of allowance for your bum there as well. So make sure that we're staying flat against the wall, just with your pelvis as much as you can as that leg rolls out. So you might need to just keep the hand there just to hold it there. So from here, just 1 more breath here. Okay, and then we can let go, bring that leg back in, and then we're going to get ready for the other side. So chair again, back over to there. So standing back against the wall, and then lifting the leg, turn the leg out. You might want to stand a little bit nearer to it, that might be better. Okay, so I'm pulling back on the right side, and I'm edging my left leg out more to the side, keeping the back of my body against the wall as much as I can. So not every part of it is touching, but it just gives you a little bit of a level out just with how the hips are doing. You don't want to kind of take that leg if you're swinging out on this side. So aim to keep the right side pulling back as the left side is rotating out to that side. Okay, and then we can bring that leg back in again. And just for a moment, just stand in Tadasana. Okay, So now we're going to need your belt and you're going to be down onto the floor. So lying down in Tadasana. So like we did at the wall where the leg was stretching and it was at the wall. So we're going to take our right leg first and just hook the belt round, get that leg up. So we did this in the last one, so really focusing on that left one down, right one is up and drawing that leg in. So once we have the leg straight, so aim to open up at the back of the knee, and we're just holding on, just both hands, just drawing that leg as if you're trying to pull the belt down, but the heel is pushing up as much as you can. So holding here, 3 breaths. Okay, so after your 3 breaths, you can take hold just with one hand. We're going to bend that leg now, and I want you to really feel as if you're pulling that leg down, as if you're trying to get the elbow down towards the shoulder. You can always bring your arm in just on the inside as we're holding onto that. So really feel as if you're opening up in the hips. Now, if you do feel okay with it, if you need your belt, then that's fine. If you can get the hand round, so we did this before, then you can always just hang on to that leg, keeping that leg pulling back with the sole of the foot looking up towards the ceiling. So again, 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. 2. Inhale. 3. Okay. So we can stretch that leg up and then bringing that leg down. So just bring that leg in, just in a crook knee position to begin with, just so we can then start to get established with the left leg. Okay, so from here, draw the leg in first of all, hook the belt round, and then straighten that leg up. Once that leg is up and we're working to really stretch out and open up in the back of the knee, and you feel as if that leg is fully charged, really pulling up, then start to stretch away with the right leg. Feel as if that leg is pushing down towards the floor. So feel the opening up in the back of the knees. Drawing in, make sure that this hip is still pushing away. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so from here, holding on to the belt, then we can start just to bend that leg in. Now, as we bend that leg and we're pulling down as if that knee is coming down towards the shoulder, either stay holding onto the belt, or if your leg is down enough, you may be able to get the hand round just to grab hold of the sole of the foot, and we're drawing down. So knee is down towards the shoulder, the sole of the foot is still looking up towards the ceiling. Drawing down, holding here now. Okay, good. Stretch that leg up and then bringing that leg all the way back down. Okay, give the legs a little bit of a stretch, give them a little bit of a shake out, and then draw the legs in. Again, taking a little rock, just bringing yourselves back up to sitting. So we're going to turn ourselves back over again, and we're going to go back into the lunge, what we did a little bit earlier. So from here, we can just then take straight up into a plank pose, so holding there. So push back between your shoulder blades, nice and strong with the arms, really charging up with the legs, and then pull back into Ardha Mukha Svanasana. From here, we're just going to start now just to really take the hips up as high up as you can. Draw your belly back, keep the rib cage housed evenly in your skin. Take your right leg up, lifting up nice and high. Bend that leg.
Now keep the strength in this left leg, so you don't want that leg to fall over to one side. Just opening up with the hip. So opening up, you can even rotate your ankle. It might just help just to open the hip up a little bit more, looking up underneath the armpit of the right arm. That's it. And then we can bring it back, look forward, step that leg through. So right up between the hands. Again, just easing forwards and back. So feel the opening up, just right up into the hip flexor. So just a few rocks, forwards and back, forwards and back. So strength charging up through that back leg. Now from here, we're just going to bring our back knee down. Take the foot over a little bit more to the side. We can just turn the toes out ever so slightly. Hands are down. Now from here, have the hands down to the floor like your setup you're doing for your plank position. Toes are still tucked and then straighten out in that back leg. So you want to feel as if that leg is out a little bit more to the side, but it can also grip and feel as if it's holding on right close towards your shoulder. So squeezing in. Now, if you are a little bit more freer in your with your hips, go get the words out, you can bring your hand and take it round. So as if that leg is over your shoulder. So you're going to work as if you're trying to squeeze that leg onto the shoulder as much as you can. Aim still for the chest to come forward. Couple of breaths. Now, those that can, you can maybe try lifting that foot up off the floor. Don't think that's going to work for me. And maybe get a tiny bit of it. No, it's probably not. Okay, but some of you I know will probably be able to get that leg up off the floor. So you can always try stretching that leg out. Okay, so for the rest of us, we're just going to hold here. So just one more breath. And then bring that hand back in. Okay, so from here, take the leg back again into Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Nice long stretch back. Make sure you're drawing back again through your belly, through the chest. Hips up nice and high. Strength in your legs. Now taking the left leg up. Bring that leg up as high up as you can. Strength on that right leg, pulling right to the hip. Bend the leg, taking that leg over so we feel a little bit more opening up through the hip. Again, you can then start just to maybe rotate in the ankle. Remember, ankles have a relationship with the hips. So the more that the ankles are moving nice and freely, then maybe you get a little bit more movement out of the hips as well. Okay, so from here, bring it back round, look forward, stretch the leg maybe to begin with, then squeeze in up between your hands. So on here, strengthen the back leg. We're just going to ease forward and back, ease forward and back. Keep your chest as if it's heading forward. So feel, again, the stretch coming out right into the hip flexor on that right-hand side. Okay, so from here, hands go flat. We can bring the back knee down. We can take the leg, just walk it out a little bit to the side, turn the toes out, and then we're just over onto the outside. So you want to really feel as if that leg, I know it'll open up and it can maybe rock out a little bit to the side, but feel as if it's hugging in. So stretching out with the right leg. And again, for those that want to, if you want to take it a little bit further and you're more open in the hips, you can bring it so that hand is underneath. So it's underneath as if the leg is coming over the shoulder. So you can hold there. And again, for those that want to take it even further, that front leg, you can always try stretching it straight out in front. So I'm just going to, we'll be fine here with the foot out down onto the floor. Okay, so we take that stretch, pushing back into the back leg. And then we can bring it back round and then taking that leg back. So back up again into Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Nice long stretch back. And then right up onto your toes, down to the knees, sit back towards the heels. Okay, so it might even feel more comfortable to sit like this now that we have stretched out more in the hip flexors. Okay, so just take a couple of breaths. And then we're ready to move on. So you can either use the edge of the sofa or the wall, or you can use the chair as well for this one. I think that's maybe a little bit high to get my leg on, so I will use the wall. So you can place, I'll try it there in a moment once I've done this bit. So you're going to place a block just to the wall. I'll place one there ready. And we're going to start off just by taking our right leg back onto the block. So my foot is up. If you can see, my foot is then up onto the wall. So once it's here, front leg, bringing that forward. So creating like a box, a square shape in between on the legs. And then we can bring ourselves up. Just push your hands just into the leg. Now you can gauge this. The further back you are, then the more you will feel it. So you can always have that leg forward a tiny bit if you want to, so you can come up. You don't want to feel as if you're really scooping out in the back. Keep the tailbone tucking under. Hands are just going just onto the leg. Now, if your leg is right, if you're right back against it, you can take your arms up and take your hands back to the wall if you're that flexible in your shoulders. Let me just try showing you from that side so you just see maybe at a slightly better angle. So it would be there. Okay, so you can see at that angle now. So your foot is back, it's right up towards your bum. If it's on the wall, you have the front of the foot really pressing into the wall. So you can press down, feel the opening up. You can take the arms back, nice long stretch. You're holding here for 3 breaths. So we've probably done a few while you're in the other place with your leg back against the wall. So just one more breath. And then bringing your hands down. Okay, so once you come away from the wall, again, you can just sit back. So you're sat back just onto your heels. Take a couple of breaths. Good. So ready for the other side. So I'll stay back against the wall here. And then it gives your foot a much more better stretch when it is stretched right up against the wall. So right foot forward, left leg is back. Pushing back, hands just onto the leg. Again, just watch. You don't want to be overarching in the back and tilting your pelvis back. If you think it's a water element, think that you have a bowl here, a bowl for your pelvis, and that bowl is full of water. So you want to keep it, so we just keep that level right. Okay, take the arms straight up. If you want a better stretch, interlock the fingers, turning the hands over and reaching up. Some of you may feel it fine just to take the arms back and have the hands straight back to the wall, depending on how far back you are with that leg. Okay, and then bringing your hands down. So bring yourselves away from the wall. And then again, sit back to the heels. So obviously if sitting back on the heels doesn't feel right, then sit back onto a block. But as I say, as you're going on, you may find it feels a little bit more comfortable. So just one more breath here. Okay. So bring yourselves back up to standing. Again, the chair needs to be back against the wall again, or your support onto there. So we're going to be, if you can use the sofa as well on this one, so just be careful that you're not going to slip. So I'm going to show you first of all, because I want to still face towards the camera. So I'm going to show you with my left leg lifting, but ideally you want to be doing the right leg first, okay? So imagine that this is my right leg. So that leg is going to come up and it's going to go onto the edge of the chair. I'm taking my other leg out a nice stride apart with the heel in line with the instep. Now I'm keeping this lift here. And then as this leg is rolling out, I'm just going to then ease into it a little bit more. So ideally to keep, I thought my legs were a little bit longer, I'll have to bring them back in a little bit. So ideally to keep my knee on top of the ankle bone. My arms can go out to the side. I can extend over towards the wall, but then bring my hand down on the inside and onto the chair and stretching my arm up. So we feel that the side of the body starts to get a little bit more open, starting to open up a little bit more in the hip, but keep the strength through that straight leg. So remember, we're not letting all the weight go onto the bent side. So keep pushing it in to turn the chest a little bit more and reaching up. So inhale, exhale 1, inhale, exhale 2, inhale, exhale 3. Okay, bring yourselves back up and then straighten out and bring the leg away from the chair. Okay, make sure again that your legs are working before doing the other side. So you'll see the back side of me now. So I'm going to take my leg up onto the chair. I'm going to make sure that I am lifting, so I'm not just dropping all the way onto it. So from here, I can also have the hand there just to encourage that leg, just to turn out a little bit more as I come into that deep bend, just into rolling that leg out. So my arms can go out to the side. I can extend over, then bring the hand down onto the chair. Once my hand is down onto the chair, my other arm is reaching up. I'm pushing this arm into the bent leg. Now this bum cheek here, it should be tucking in. If it isn't, if it's sticking out, I'm going to overarch in the back. So keep it tucking right in as my arm is up. Strong in that back leg. Inhale. Exhale 1. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Bring yourselves back up, straighten out with the leg and bringing that leg back in. So we come back again into Tadasana. So just rolling the shoulders back. Okay. So Virabhadrasana 1. Now we're just going to go straight into that pose. So we're going to have the legs facing in the right direction. We're going to work it slightly different, so more into a crescent lunge. So with that, the back heel is lifted. So I'm going to keep my right foot where it is, take my left leg, nice big stride back. So from the legs being straight to begin with, back heel is lifted. Keep that tailbone tucking under. Remember your bowl there full of water. Take your arms up, reaching up as high up as you can, and then exhale, aim to bend the knee. So holding here, just holding, keep the chest lifted, keep the arms reaching up as much as you can. Now from here, we're going to inhale, bring the legs nice and straight. Exhale. 1. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. 2. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. 3. Inhale, back up again. Bring your hands down. You might want to just bunny hop the back leg in a little bit and then step it forward. Okay, make sure that the legs are working. So you might want to just bend and straighten the legs a little bit before we do the other side. So left leg is forward, taking that right leg, nice big stride back. Keep the legs straight to begin with and keeping that back heel lifted. So really feel the charging out through the back leg. Okay, so from here, taking your arms up, bend the leg. So just so we get our setup right on it here, keeping that back leg nice and straight, pushing out right through the heel. So inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. 1. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. 2. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. 3. And just straighten up
bring your hands down, soften the knee, either bunny hop or step it forward. Okay, from here, just roll your shoulders. So we're stood in Tadasana. Nice straight, get the shoulders to roll back, take a few breaths. You might even want to bring the hands to the heart center, just close your eyes and just think about your intention. Okay, after your next exhalation, just dropping the hands down. And then we're ready to move on. So we're going to just move the chair out of the way for now. So if you are just using your the sofa, that's fine. Just move away. I'm not asking you to move the sofa, just move away from it. And I'm going to move my mat up more towards the door now. Okay. So Parigasana. Parigasana is gate pose. You can see if I move that back away. So in this, we're going to start off where we're in a kneeling position. It might take a couple of attempts just to be able to get into this and just being in the right place. So we need to work to pull up on the thighs, pulling up as much as we can, and then taking our left leg towards the wall. So we're pressing in. Again, you can just use the edge of the sofa. It's fine. It's not going to go anywhere. So we keep pulling up. So we're really starting to open up through this left side. Arms are going out to the side. We inhale with the lift, and then as we exhale, we're tipping over. I've got one hand pushing into the door. The other hand is coming over towards it to meet it. Keep your chest facing forward. Now, only if it feels okay, if you can come down, you can start just to go that little bit low, but keep your chest facing up towards the ceiling. So a nice strong stretch, you'll feel it through pulling out on that right side. So right up into the hip, but also rolling out on your left side. So holding here, just a couple more breaths. And then lifting up away from it. Okay, so when we're there, bring the leg back in and sit yourself back down. So just compose yourself before we get ready for the other side. And then once you're ready, then we can turn and we'll do the other side. So when you're here, make sure that the legs are working. They pull up, they're lifting up. So we keep that firmness in the legs. We keep the tailbone tucking under. We're going to be taking our right leg out to the side. My toes are pushing up onto the door, keeping that lift. Keep this right leg rolling out as much as we can. So arms are going out to the side. We keep the lift, and then as we go over, we have one hand onto the door. The other arm is coming over. My chest is still looking forward. So you can see I'm struggling more on this side to lift up out of it, and that's perfectly fine. I just keep working that side just to lift over. So this is onto my left side. So for me, this is my tighter side. It's my tighter side in the back. So I'm feeling it more on this side. So remember, not pushing it, no straining. So we don't need to do that to be able to get into a pose. We just need to be able to ease into it. Challenging but sweet, remember. And then we come back up. And then we can just step that leg back in. Sit yourself back down. Okay, take a couple of breaths. I'm just going to move my mat just away from there now. So we're back in again. About there. Okay, so for this is where you're going to need, you've got your 2 blocks, but if you have got more than 2 blocks, then I would suggest using them. So, I did have, I've got the other one. So 2 blocks are going to go either side of you. So you're going to have them here. And these are for the hands to go onto. Now, if you press down onto your hands and then scoop your belly back, but think of those legs nice and strong. I'm going to point the toes. Think of the legs lifting up
as we come up. Now you can see it's a real struggle to get the legs up off the floor. If you can manage to get those legs, so pull the legs up as much as you can. We'll have another go at it, see if we can. Ooh, no. So the legs are going back down. So see if we can. You've still got to feel as if the thigh muscles are pulling up, thigh bone pushing down, but also trying to get those legs up, the feet up, sorry, off the floor. Now, we're also going to work now just to keep with the theme of opening up in the hips. So we're going to try with one leg in a similar pose to where we had it a couple of poses back. So from here, we're now going to bring up the right leg, and you're going to hold onto that leg, sitting up nice and tall. Now, we're holding onto that leg, but now I'm going to bring the arm on the inside of it. When I go onto the inside, I bring it round so I'm hooking hold of my foot. So you remember when we were laid on our backs and we had hold. So once I've got to here, the knee is heading off a little bit more to the side. Now, as it goes now, I'm going to rock forward a little bit, and I'm going to aim to tuck that towards my shoulder a little bit more and rock myself forward a little bit. Now, from here, this is where we're going to then squeeze that leg in towards the shoulder as I bring, see, I'm just moving my blocks in. So I'm going to squeeze it there as I'm holding, pressing down, and then work to lift up, pulling up, squeezing that leg in. Okay? And then back down. Oh, okay. So even if we just get a little lift off the floor, these are a struggle for me to do. So, you got to just take it as it is. We're good at some things and I struggle on others. Okay, and that was my good side. Right, so let's see how we do on the other side. So from here, I'm going to bring my left leg, I'm going to pull that leg back, taking hold, hugging onto that leg. Take hold underneath the foot, and I can bring my arm in so I can hook round. So now I've got hold of that leg and it's coming up near my shoulder. I can rock forward a little bit to try and get that leg up a little bit higher. And I'm pointing my toes on that leg. So from here, pointing my toes, stretching forward, I'm going to push down as much as I can. Oh, lifting up, squeezing in, squeezing in, squeezing in. Whew, and back down. Okay. Actually felt not too bad on that side. It is a struggle on there. So see if we can just get a little bit of that lift up. But squeezing in is really going to help to firm up as well, just with those inner thigh muscles. So well done if you did manage that. Okay, so where are we going now? So we're going to just lose these for a moment, and we can then go into our inverted posture. So if you're practicing headstand, we're going to be lifting the legs up, and again, like we did last week, we're just going to take one, keep the legs as straight as we can. Remember still to tune into the belly, take the leg up, let the other leg follow, so it comes up. From there, we're going to be turning the feet out, Charlie Chaplin feet, take the legs out wide, bring the legs back in, and then bringing the legs back down again. Okay? So let's see where we'll go with this. So getting your set up, head down. So look first just between your legs, so at the feet. So one leg going up and let the other leg follow. Okay? So we've got legs up towards the ceiling, stretching up as much as we can. Still squeeze those legs in. Now I'm going to turn out with the feet, and then I'm going to still stay pushing through my heels as I'm taking my legs out nice and wide. So I'm not just letting all the weight just come straight down. I'm still just pushing out towards my heels. Stretch out, stretch out, stretch out, stretch out. And then scoop the legs back in again. Stretching up. Okay, I'm going to start to bring my legs down now. So whichever leg you fit, you can always bring one leg about halfway. So if you bring that leg halfway, then you can take the leg back up and then onto the other leg. And then let one leg come down to the floor and let the other leg follow. So we come down, take a breather. So a few breaths once you're down. Okay. So from here, now we're going to go into shoulder stand. Now with your shoulder stand, just if you, again, you can either use the edge of the sofa or you can use your chair. So with your chair, place it just at one edge of your mat. Now legs are going to go up, straight up. And then once we've been up, we're going to hinge at the hips, take the legs over to the chair. We'll do a couple of variations of taking the legs up and bringing them back down. We're not going to hold in these. We're just going to keep it moving, just nice and free moving so the hips feel really nice and free moving with it. Okay, so chair is there, hands just down by your sides. Straighten the legs, point the toes, take the legs straight up. And holding onto the back. Okay, so stretch those legs. Push out through the heels a little bit further away through the ball of the foot. Once we're stretching up, we're holding here 3 breaths. So not long at all, holding. Then we can hinge at the hips, bring the legs over. Remember, not letting the legs collapse, just bring them down. Take your right leg, stretch that leg back up. So it's exactly the same as how we were right at the very beginning, when we had one leg stretched out, the other leg was down onto the floor, and one was pushing into the door or the wall. Bring that leg back down, other leg up. Lifting up the whole time, lifting up away from your hips. Bring that leg down. Now, only if you feel okay with it, you can start to bring the legs coming down to the floor. So if I can, try and move my chair back, and the legs are down. By all means, you could keep the legs just up onto the chair if that feels better in your hips. Okay, and then let the hands come down to the floor and slowly start just to release back down and let those legs come down to the floor. Okay, so once you're down, then you can just let the legs just gently rock over from side to side. And then prepare yourselves for Shavasana, well-earned Shavasana. So grab whatever you need, your blankets or anything, just place them around you. I'm just going to move that out of the way. Now, by all means, just stay in Shavasana for as long as you want to. So you can always just pause the video and come back to it just when you're ready to come up. But making sure that you at least take 5 or 10 minutes in Shavasana. Allow the body just time just to process and just to let it know just what's happened. So just with full attention just on the breathing. Soft, smooth, quiet breath. Now to begin with, there may be the Ujjayi breathing. And then just let that Ujjayi breathing just start to dissolve. So you're left just with normal breathing. Directing the focus of the breath just down into the belly. Making sure that there's no expression on the face. It feels wide and expressionless. Allow this time just to rest, restore. Okay. So just start now just to bring the awareness back round. Gently start to move your fingers and your toes, your wrists and your ankles. Start to draw the knees in towards the chest. Take a little rock over from side to side. Start to widen the senses, your sense of touch, of hearing, sight, smell, taste. And then bringing yourself back up to sitting. Bring your palms together. And just for a moment longer, just closing your eyes. Recall your intention. Notice how you feel. And to seal the practice, bringing the hands up over the crown. Slowly start to draw the hands down, coming down to the Ajna chakra. Again, this intuitive center. The Vishuddha at the throat, where you speak your truth and listen well. Anahata, your center for love and compassion. Manipura, giving you your will and your drive. Svadhisthana, for new beginnings, creativity and change. And the Muladhara, for your strength and your stability. Just bringing the hands back to the Anahata chakra. Again, the center for love, compassion, and for kindness. So always making sure that you hold a place there for yourself. And then softly blink the eyes open. Namaste. Okay. So hope you feel really good after that. So nice one for opening up the hips and really a good bit of strength as well in there. So you should really be starting to feel that now. Okay. All right then, have fun.